Hello, this is the fourth video in the AutoIt Scripting tutorial video set, and I'm going to cover how you can use a variable to get data or information that a function returns. For example, I've given the example of a message box with text on it with a question and then having a yes and a no button. And if they press the yes button, it'll do this thing, and if they press the no button, it'll do that thing. So I'm going to show you that now. I'm going to create my variable. I'm going to declare the variable. Okay, then I'm going to start this off with the variable equals, open up a message box, because remember I'm going to take the information that the message box returns and put that into here. So I go this variable equals message box 4 for the flag, which if you don't remember which flag you need easily, click on the variable, hit F1 and scroll down for the information. So we can see here 4 equals a yes and a no. So that's the flag. For the title I will go choice. For the text, press yes or no. Okay, so now if I hit F5, we see the message press yes or no. Right now it doesn't do anything, but the button that we press, it will store either a 6 for yes or a 7 for no. That's what this variable is going to have. So now that you press that, the next part we're going to do a conditional if-then statement, so that we can do something if they press yes or something if they press no. So what I shall do is I shall go if this variable, because we're going if this equals 6, and 6 is yes, then, and now we type what we want to do. So we'll go a message box with an OK button. For the title, you chose. And for the text, we will go, you pressed the yes button. Then close it. Alright? So, if I press no, nothing happens. If I run it again and press yes, since now this value, this variable contains the value 6, if this variable equals 6, then now we've got a message box after it. So that's why I just got this message box, because I pressed yes. But if I press no, nothing happens. Now if I wanted to, I could make a copy of this underneath, change this to a 7, which would be the no, and that will work. So if I press no, it comes up, you press the no button. Same thing when I press the yes. But you don't necessarily need to keep doing that. If you've got one if-then statement, you can use a multi-line and incorporate everything into the one statement. If it's this, do this, or if it isn't, then do this. So we start with the first part first, the question, if this equals 6, then, and then on the new line, what we want to do, and then we can go and end it with end if. Okay, so that will do the same thing that we just had a second ago. If we press yes, it will bring the text, the message box up, or if we press no, it won't do anything. Okay, but now since we've got this if-then here, that's a multi-line, which means that you've only got the question first, then on the new line you've got the things you want to do, and then on the last line you end it with end if. Well, what we can do, after the stuff we want to do first, we can then put in else, and then put in our message box. Else means if it didn't match this, that means if it's anything other than this right here, then do this. Okay? So now if I run it, I hit yes, we get, you press the yes button because it did equal 6. If I run it and press no, because it didn't equal 6, then we see this message right here. You press the no button. But let's presume that there's 3 or 4 different buttons. it's only going to work if there's only 2 buttons. If it equals 6, then do this. And then if it's anything else, do this, which is fine because there's only yes and no. But if there are multiple things, we need to be a bit more specific. We need to say if it's this, then do this. If it's that, then do that. Or if it's the other thing, then do this instead. Alright? So what we can do is we can go else if, which is more specific, and then we put our new question in. This variable equals 7, then. So now instead of it just being if it doesn't equal 6, whatever it is, then do this. We're not doing that now. We're saying else if this variable equals 7, then do whatever's underneath it. Okay? So now if I press F5, press yes, it matched the first thing. So that's all it's going to do. You press the yes button. Alright? If I run this and press no, since it will equal 7, this variable will equal 7. Now instead, it doesn't do this, it only does this, because it didn't equal 6, it actually equaled 7. So that's why we see that particular box. So that is a way that you can use a variable to get information from a message box. Now that we've done that, I'm going to get rid of this and I'm going to show you a different function that you could do this with. And I'm going to define a variable here, or declare a variable called answer. And we're going to go answer equals, and the new one, we're not going to do a message box this time, we're going to do something called an input box. Now, we've never seen this before, so if we want more information, click on the function and press F1, and now we'll see the specific information for this. So we can see we need a title, we need a prompt, but this other stuff is all optional. So we shall drag this over here so we can see both this help file and what we're doing here. Open this up with the bracket. So the first thing is a title, then the prompt. And what's the prompt? A message to the user indicating what kind of input is expected. So it's basically our question. Please enter your name. Alright? And we don't need any of this other stuff. If we wanted to, we could already have something by default in the box already. And if we wanted to, we could make it so that whatever you type, it always shows up as a star or something. But we don't need that right now. We just need the question so that somebody can type the answer in. So if we press F5, now we see your name. Please enter your name. Press OK. Now, once I do that, it stores that value, which in this case, it'll store the word Wesley, because that's what I typed, into this variable. So now I can use this variable, once it's still running, of course, presuming we've got a script that's doing things, we can use answer variable at any point during the script now. So what I could do, for example, is I can use a message box, open this up with an OK button, a title, your name, and for the text, we'll put some standard text in, and then we'll glue on the end of that their name that they typed in. Okay, so we'll go, thank you for typing your name in, and then we'll close that. Now if we just had that as it is, we type our name in, the only thing we see is this. Alright, but we want to have their name at the end of it so that it feels a more personal experience. So if you remember from the previous video, if we want to add something onto the end of that, we use the and symbol and then the name of the variable, which again you can auto-complete by hitting tab if you see the right one you're looking for. So remember, I've also added a space here so that whatever the person types, it will look correct. So if I press F5 now, please enter your name. Thank you for typing your name in, Wesley. So we can take information from any number of functions. If the function has a return value, you will be able to use your scripting abilities to be able to make decisions based on what that function came up with. Like if, let's say you're trying to, I don't know, let's say you're trying to copy a file or something, and the return value for that function says if it's successful it'll come up with 1, if it fails for some reason it'll come up with a 0. Then you could have a conditional statement that says if this variable equals 1, so everything worked fine, then bring up a message box saying everything went fine. But if it's 0, meaning that there was an error, then you would be able to do something different, like warn the person that it didn't work. So whatever the functions are doing, you can make conditional statements that will be able to be more adaptive, almost like artificial intelligence on a very basic level, so that your script will do the right thing at the right time. So now you know how to be able to get information out of a function and make use of it with a conditional statement. I'll see you on video 5.